Good morning, all you folks out there in YouTube land. Thrash Pondo here. And as promised, I have brought more content for the content portion of my channel. But before I give it to you, you know what I'm going to ask here. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, forward, and you know what? Anything else you think you could do that might help my fledgling channel along. And with that out of the way, I'm now going to move on. And as I'm sure you folks realize, as something of a sci-fi horror buff, I've found a number of excellent sci-fi and horror shorts posted right here on YouTube that, while I won't say have been overlooked, I think they can certainly be looked at more. And today I'm going to be bringing you a particularly creepy and disturbing one, and it is called Alone Time, directed by Rod Blackhurst. Blackhurst thinking in the dead of night, and that's all you're going to get from there. Anyway, it starts off, it says right in the opening, based on a true story or actual events. So it lets you know that there's like some truth to the story. And it's pretty mundane. This young woman in an urban setting finds she's tired of her job, she's tired of her home life, desperately needs some time away, and decides the best thing she could do is get away from literally everything, even her friends, possibly significant others, and just sort of go out into the hills and have, I guess, what you would call a walkabout, a retreat, as it were, and just get some fresh air and clear her mind. And that sounds wonderful on paper, and as the story unfolds, it truly is. She looks like she says on her phone with a friend of hers she's going to possibly Keene. I believe somewhere in the credits it says it was upstate New York. It could have been New Hampshire, even Vermont. There's some beautiful, beautiful country out there. But she finds this idyllic Crystal Lake. Moving forward. This idyllic lake, and she sets up a little camp there by herself, and she's just having a splendid, refreshing time. Even manages to get a hold of, those old disposable cameras. They used to give things like weddings. You go to a wedding and there'd be a camera on your table. You're supposed to take pictures of all the people at your table and whatnot. But yeah, she gets one of those, takes some beautiful photos. Oh, and before I go any further, spoiler alert. Long and short of it is, when she gets home, there's some exposures on the camera that couldn't have been taken by her. And all she can think is, how the heck did they get there? And there's like no nice way, that's for sure. I'll let you see exactly what goes on, and it's a truly disturbing story, even more disturbing because I actually knew someone who had a shockingly similar story during her college years. More about that some other time. But it really calls for a look at our society as a whole. I mean, the whole thing starts out, and you gotta give it to Mr. Blackhurst. He did some great job making our urban living even more uncomfortable and oppressive and almost dystopian than it is. In the office, as your typical office setting, she's getting nowhere at work. They're always dumping more work on her. She can barely get through the day. But he does some stuff with unnatural light that makes it literally look like something out of like a fallout shelter. It's very, very uncomfortable. For crying out loud, there's a scene where she's home and she's eating lo mein, and I love lo mein, and somehow he made the lo mein look disgusting. Like she's just really she's just distressed right down to her soul. Even things that normal people would enjoy, she can't enjoy. So it really sets it up. But the biggest thing it sets up is, and it's almost a foreshadowing to what we see just a bit later on, is, well, there's no nice way of saying it, she's constantly getting creeped on. There's a scene where she goes to take her somewhere just to get home, and there's some yuppie suit who starts checking her out. And he doesn't just but no, he's like scoping on her almost predatorially. And when she gets on the subway, he makes it a point of, rather than getting on to the door closest to him, he subtly enters right behind her. And it's very sort of, you just want to scream, "Look out behind you, young lady." Speaking of look behind you, there's another thing where she's actually standing at a crosswalk, and this guy just starts creeping on her, and again, this is something we see in other works as well. The truly creepy thing in horror stories, they're not demons, they're not genetically engineered monsters, they're other human beings. And, well, elephant in the room, for the female half of our civilization, it's even more so. And again, the whole thing is very, very well put together. It's a slow burn. It doesn't bash you over the head. It just sort of unwinds, and you get caught up in the story as you go. The reveal is a truly great reveal, and it will stay with you. I promise you. That's really about all I can say. Again, I don't want to give the final game away, but I've told you as much as I can without doing that. So here's what I ask you to do. It's right here on YouTube. It's produced, or at least I found it on a site called Alter. And check it out. It's called Alone Time by Rod Blackhurst. Tell me what you think. Is it good? Is it not as good as I'm making it out to be? Can you empathize? Let me know in the comments below. And again, I do have more content coming out. I found a treasure trove right here on YouTube. Some of the trove is less of a treasure, but if we only reviewed the things we liked, it would get dull real fast, wouldn't it? But anyway, that's all I got for you today. So until next time, be good, be safe, be careful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.